Well, good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. This is the Morning Report for August 25th. 25th. It's a Friday. You made it to another Friday. Proud of you. This week was the first Republican debate, and it seems like Vivek Ramaswamy is a new shiny thing. You guys remember that? You remember the new shiny things? As we watched debate after debate, and one person popped up and we were like, woo, that's our guy. Yeah, he's saying that. Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, he was out because hopefully what we learned, but we didn't, was that this is not a popularity contest. We're not electing a prom king. We're not. Um, and a presidential campaign is a grind. Is a grind. You got to be able to avoid saying patently stupid things for weeks on end, months on end, and you got to try to find a way not to offend people or leave them out. Vivek Ramaswamy was a hit apparently. I was listening to Clay and Buck, and they had this guest, this lady, who said that she was an independent. That immediately tells me, oh, you're a Democrat, but she's an independent woman of faith. Now I'm not. They didn't ask her what faith. They didn't ask her where her faith came from. They didn't ask her anything about her faith. They just let her talk, and that's their show, and that's cool. Um, and of course, Vivek Ramaswamy was, or was suddenly her guy, and because she had been a supporter of Donald Trump, and because when Vivek says that he would immediately pardon Donald Trump, um, raise his hand, I'll pardon him. Um, that without Trump there, that was her guy suddenly, and because and this is what she said. She said that just because Ron DeSantis sort of looked around and got the lay of the land, and then she says, then he raised his hand. Now, if you saw that, write that down in the comments because, like I told y'all, I did not see it because I was not looking for it. The idea, see, and this is the weirdness and the badness, the harm that this hero worship can be. Maybe I don't say I'll pardon him because I don't believe he's done anything wrong. Maybe I didn't say I wouldn't pardon him because I don't think he'll be convicted of anything because he hasn't done anything wrong. Hmm? Wow. Maybe people are saying, maybe those on the panel were saying they would pardon him um, because they believe that he's done something wrong and will be convicted of said crime. Maybe I'm a believer that says, yeah, he didn't anything wrong. He's not going to suffer any consequences. He'll be fine. There's nothing to pardon. There'll be nothing to pardon. That would seem to be more supportive than saying, yeah, he's going down, but that's okay. I got him. Weird, weird, very weird. But that's what happens when you get into hero worship. It's just insane. At the same time, and I want to talk about this. Uh, Donald Trump did an interview, a 45-minute piece with Tucker Carlson on Twitter. Tucker on Twitter. I don't know if he's going to change his name to Tucker X. Tucker X. Um, Maybe he will. I don't know. He's and Trump says a very smart thing, um, that he mentions that during the 2016 election, Hillary called him and conceded. He thinks that Obama kind of made her do it, but she conceded. But then ever since she's been on the trail saying that the election was stolen from her, being an election denier. which was enough to get a lot of us kicked off Twitter, a lot of us get kicked off Facebook, a lot of us to get kicked off Instagram, just to say that you question or TikTok question the results of the 2020 election. That was enough to get off YouTube. It was enough to get you kicked off. But at the same time, Hillary Clinton was going to 20,000 or $30,000, a pop speeches and talking about how she believed the election was stolen from her. You know who else was doing that? Think about it. Stacey Abrams. Now, God is good because sometimes God puts you in a place that you may not on the, I don't know, on the surface maybe deserve to be, but you get put there anyway. That way you get to see stuff that you might not have seen otherwise, or other people won't get to see, but you have a platform. This platform is just like this big off the ground, but it's a platform. And I get to share here. While doing a local program, radio program on WTMP 1150, Legacy Black Radio here in Tampa, I was on a show called Porch Talk Radio. Porch Talk Radio was a show that was led by my friend Eddie Adams Jr. and Gabriel Phillips. The producer is Tim Horton. And we were on a remote, which was strange because remotes cost money when you do broker radio shows. But they really wanted us to be at this local function, because at this local function was, and this is before all the nastiness happened. This was the one that Andrew Gillum was at. Andrew Gillum showed up as a leading Democrat in the state of Florida. He had just lost the election to Ron DeSantis, and it was close. And on that program, he was an election denier. He was saying, and he said to me, just like the election in Georgia, where there was irregularities, and there was obvious election fraud, is what he said to me. And he said everybody knows that. Maybe, and I'm thinking maybe you had a crappy candidate, maybe, and she lost. But he said it matter of fact, like, yeah, there was election fraud. Everybody knows that. Just like here in Florida. So he was an election denier here. And we haven't heard much from Andrew Gillum after he was found, laying there naked in a pile of his own puke in a hotel room with a male prostitute. Haven't heard much from him. From what I understand, it's gossip. I'm not gonna repeat that. Suffice it to say, there were people who knew Andrew Gillum who weren't surprised how all that ended up. They just weren't shocked. And it was like anything else, and I say this a lot. I am often saddened, but I am not surprised, because in our conversation with Mayor Gillum, he was very, very nice, very nice, very, very pleasant. He what was funny was we were there, and he was, people make assumptions, and because we do, that's how we humans exist. And he didn't know that we were the only conservative or right wing program on WTMP at the time. Although me, and then my friend Eddie Adams Jr., also Black, and Gabriel Phillips, Hispanic fellow. And so when he learned that we were conservatives, he sort of thought that, oh God, they got me, and that we had sort of hoodwinked him and got him in a situation to make him look bad, and that wasn't the case, because Eddie is an honorable person, and so is Gabriel, and so is Tim. And I try my best to be honorable. I would never do that. And we told him, Mayor Gillum, we would never do that. We would never put you in a place where we could play got you. We just wouldn't do that, because that's the same sort of quote journalism, quote reporting, that we hate. be absolutely a bore. So we're not going to be a part of that. And he was, and at the end of the and in the interview, he said that we had treated him fairly, and that we had asked good questions, and he said that he would come back on the show, which he never did. But that maybe he didn't get asked. He got asked. He didn't come back, and that's fine. And that's fine. He didn't have to, but he thought that he had been hoodwinked. His handlers, the handlers of the event, said, "Oh, you got to go talk to WTMP. You got to go talk to Eddie." It was Eddie's show. Eddie passed away almost a year ago. He was like a big brother to me. I kind of miss him. I really miss him, as a matter of fact. Um, but it was sad when we found, when we learned how all that went down later. Again, pictures of him drunk in his own puke, laying naked on the floor of in some hotel room with a male prostitute. It was not good. Not a good look. For the family, school age children. It was sad. Anyway, um, but all these people were election deniers, and none of them are facing what Trump is facing. Now, I'm going to say this one more time. If you want to steal the resolve of the Trump base, keep doing what you're doing. Indict him again. Indict him for spit on the sidewalk. Indict him for scratching his privates in public. Indict him for whatever. Indict him for jaywalking, whatever. The more you indict, the more you steal the resolve of his supporters. And the more, frankly, you turn this great nation, this once great nation, into a banana republic, where the current administration seeks to put the opposition party in jail. And that's what's happening. Trump's mugshot has been gotten, and it's going to be used as a political campaign weapon. We're going to see it on T-shirts. We're going to see it on posters. We're going to see it on election signs. We're going to see it everywhere. Why? Because the idea is this dude. I mean, this dude went to jail over what people don't know, because looking into something and thinking about it is a thing that we don't do as Americans. We are very surfacey people. We care more about what it looks like than what it is. We just do. It's a terrible thing to say. It's a terrible thing to have to say. And worse than that, it's a terrible thing to be true. We just care about what it looks like. We don't care about what it actually is. What's actually going on. Facts, details, nuance, context, and needs all that. I can see. I got eyes. I know what it is. I know what it looks like. If it looks like a duck, it's a duck. No, there's more to that saying. If it looks like a duck, it walks like a duck. If it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Sometimes things just look like a duck, or things like just like quack like a duck or walk like a duck, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a duck. It could be a goose. Yeah. But looking into things is not America's superpower. Looking over things, glossing over things, is America's superpower, and that's going to be problematic. So again, with Vivek Ramaswamy being the darling of the last presidential debate, will he continue to be the darling? No, no, it'll be someone else. My friend John Donnie Torres tweeted that the only qualified person qualified, and it's because of her time as governor. I think she was governor of North Carolina, right? North Carolina, South Carolina, one of the Carolinas. And she was also in public service as an ambassador, So she has foreign policy experience and she has the experience of a governor. And you guys know I love me some governors. I think there should be an amendment to the Constitution that only allows governors to run for president because they've kind of already done it in a small setting. Johnny said that she's probably the only qualified person on the panel. Not for nothing, but with politics being the way they are, her chances of winning the nomination are very, very small. Uh, I'm looking to see. I am looking to see how many people are still left by the second debate. My guess is that at least a third of them will be gone. We won't see Doug Burgum. We won't see Aja Hutchinson. They'll be gone. We may not even see Nikki Haley. Tim Scott, I think Tim Scott will be around for one more, but then he'll be done too. I think Vivek Ramaswamy will, and Ron DeSantis will battle it to the end. And I think Chris Christie survives one more debate before he heads off to the donut shop. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry that he leaves the campaign trail. I think one more debate. Now, because no one's talking about, oh, did you see Christie? He was great. Yeah, Chris Christie is a Democrat. You know, frankly, a northeastern Republican is a Democrat. And even so, this whole idea, and this is the saddest thing ever, and I'll let you go here in a second, that Trump's not even there. And people who are watching are like, well, who's going to support Trump? He's not there. He can support himself if he'd been there. According to the rules, no matter how cockeyed the rules are, he should have been there. I told you him not showing up was a dick move because he's taking your vote for granted instead of asking for it like you're supposed to. Instead of proving himself as a candidate, he's taking your vote for granted. And I don't have any time for anybody who's going to take me for granted. I've already said today that I think what's happening to President Trump is end of the republic sort of horrible. The end of the republic kind of behavior. So I'm in no way supporting what the left is trying to do to Donald Trump. But at the same time, because two things can be true at the same time, fire is hot, water is wet. His behavior right now, because he believes he's above it all, including coming on national TV and making his points about policy. It's a dick move. It's a dick move. In any case, we got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, take care of yourself. My name is Will Lawson. This has been the Morning Report. Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.